What's up, you guys? I'm James, King Lego High Roll. So today I want to do something a little bit different than what I normally do on this channel. Like it says on my description, I'm a conservative Christian. I'm a creationist. I believe in a very young Earth and a worldwide flood of Noah's day. I believe in the Tower of Babel. I believe in all that kind of stuff in the first 11 chapters of Genesis. But you get a lot of garbage from atheists and stuff who, like it says in one of Peter's epistles, it talks about scoffers of the Bible walking after their own lust, walking after what they want to hear rather than what God has to say. And so they create stories, and I have to tell you something, y'all. Evolutionists have to be some of the best storytellers I've ever heard. But here we have what is supposed proof for evolutionist version of geology, and I'm going to debunk it. This is it in a much simpler format, since I couldn't travel to the Grand Canyon this week. Instead, I traveled to Kentucky, and this is what I found. So I'm going to debunk this for you real quick. So I'm up here in Kentucky, right? And I'm up here hiking, and I try and come up here once or twice every year. And at least once during that trip, I try and hike up these hills. Now, this is my second or third trip up, and I come across these gullies as I'm hiking on these trails up here, right? Now, these gullies, like I said, I come up here once or twice every year. These aren't here the first time I come. Say, I came up here last year, these gullies weren't here. But I come up here this year, and they're here. And if I walk down here, they're deep. So it's obvious that a lot of water has curved through this, right? Well, as you can see, I'm going downhill. Just so you know, the laws of physics, gravity, things don't go uphill without alternative force, right? Well, water isn't exactly naturally controlled by an alternative source. It's controlled by gravity. And yet, the water's going downhill. Wow, what a concept, right? Well, evolutionists say that, I'll use the Grand Canyon as an example, like I said. Evolutionists say that the Colorado River formed the Grand Canyon over millions of years. But if that's true, a couple things would have had to happen. Number one, the river would have had to flow uphill. Several thousand feet, I might add. It's impossible according to laws of physics. And while we're using laws of physics, say an extra one or two things had to have happened. Number one, they say, well, it was an unnatural event. Oh, so you're saying that some kind of outside force could have interfered with our laws of nature? I thought you didn't believe in outside forces. That's number one. Number two, say that no unnatural forces led to that. We're going to use something that in geology, people call it uniformitarianism. Uniformitarianism is the idea that things are happening now the way that they've always happened throughout history. So, in other words, why don't we see rivers flow uphill today? They don't. They always flow downhill. Just like this gully. The water has always flown downhill, and it carves these continuously, and after the county crews fill them, it still happens. So, why? Why don't we see this today? Easy. It never happened. I have a much better I have a much better explanation, rather, for why these are formed the way they are. And I say it's the flood of Noah's day. Now, the other problem with this is erosion. These gullies are just a form of erosion. Now, say the Grand Canyon was formed over millions of years. One layer forms, a couple million years go by, and another layer gets laid down. That wouldn't happen as easily as it seems to have happened. There should be tons of erosion at the Grand Canyon. There's not. Like I said multiple times, I come up here once or twice every year. These aren't here. And look at how deep the erosion is. Whoa. Yikes. Anyways, my point being, erosion should be at the Grand Canyon. It's not. Why isn't it? Well, I don't know about you, but the evidence that I have says I think there was a huge flood. And it had to have been worldwide. It couldn't have been where Noah lived, because that's thousands of miles away. So, why is this here, if evolution theory is true? Why does the erosion get carved so deep? Why do we have, easy layers at the Grand Canyon with no erosion in between? Easy. Evolution never happened. I want to turn this into some kind of a series, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm going to try and do as many of these as I can while I'm in Kentucky and upload them as I go. Anyways, check out some of my other stuff. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any kind of new content. I try to upload it as regularly as I possibly can. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.